Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is HP. You're watching Metal Mad TV, and today I'll be talking to Palaceburn. So, could you introduce the band to the Metal Mad family?
It's just me, sadly. Yesterday we were doing recording and stuff like that. So which is why I was not available yesterday. But that all that footage and stuff like that will be going up on our YouTube page whenever I get around to editing it. But I'm Meredith Bell. I'm the lead singer of Palaceburn.
Hi,
So
Meredith.
hello.
Awesome. And you're originally from the South, though, right? You were
Richmond,
born in
Virginia.
Richmond, Virginia. Okay. When
Mhm.
did you make the move up to Philly?
Right before 2010. So
Okay.
I've been here 11 years.
All right. What's
Mhm.
the music scene like out there? I've never really been there or like experienced it for myself.
It's a little bit more, I'd say more so like R&B and like hip hop based out here, but but is which is good though, because it means that everybody in the metal and rock community is very close knit. So
Mm,
we all know each other. We all like have the same people that book us, that sort of thing. So it's easy to like get gigs and stuff like that because like you have that networking um availability and and when people go on tour they're like, hey, you want to come on, that sort of thing. So
yeah.
it's a very great community. We're all very supportive of one another for sure.
Awesome. No, that's really great. I know some places don't have that, so
Right.
it's good to hear. It's at least in Philly. Um, so when I was doing my research, I
Oh
saw
Lord.
that originally you had the Meredith Bell band. That
That's
was the
correct.
original. So what made you transition to Palaceburn and add members? Like what was that? What inspired that transition?
So I work very well in groups, which is not really, you what you would think a Capricorn would do. um, there's that. Usually we're very independent.
Okay.
Um, but when I started out the band, I was working with a producer. His name was Jason Dunkerley out of Drowning Fish Studio, which is in a section called Port Richmond, out here like on the outskirts of Philly, like South Philly. And when I was working with him, we started working on my album, which ended up being The Awakening. And when we started to play shows, like they were just kind of like, studio, like I guess like hired guns, if you will. And
Mhm.
so we started playing out, and then I noticed that we always got booked as the Meredith Bell Band. Do you know what I mean? Like it was always like, oh, but I'm not like a singer songwriter. I'm not doing like folk music with my guitar. Like I'm literally out here playing the same type of genre of music that I play with Palaceburn currently. So we just all decided as a collective, we're just like, this is not gonna work. Like
Yeah.
this is not like, I'm not Ozzy Osbourne. Like it's just not something where I feel like it's appropriate for me to do solo. So
Mhm.
that's where we just all decided as a collective, like, all right, let's actually come up with a name.
Yeah. So what's the story of the band? Like how did you meet each member? Like when did
Mhm.
you meet? What's the story?
Who? Okay, so current members. Let's
Yeah,
start
I know
there.
there's been some lineup changes.
There
Yeah.
is there a lot,
Yeah.
child. But let's just stick to who's in the band now.
Yeah.
So the longest member, I would say, even before, like when it was the Meredith Bell Band, was Bond. So Bond is technically our new drummer.
Okay.
And I met Bond was one of the first guys that I met when I moved to Philly.
Oh
And
wow.
he had answered a Craigslist ad to audition for the Meredith Bell Band, but he ended up like dislocating his shoulder, and there was just stuff. Oh God, it was so bad. There were just like things that just happened that like
Yeah.
it never really, like, and we were never really to like make it work at the time. So he ended up being in another band called the Terribles, and with was Mike in the Terrible? No, Mike was in Kennedy Red. So he was in the band called Kennedy Red, and then he ended up joining the Terribles. So we just ended up just going to each other shows and supporting each other and that sort of thing. And he just like ended up being one of my really good friends here. So we just kept in touch, that sort of thing. And then in 2018, when Jonah Kaysman, who was our old drummer, he left, that's when, you know, and then of course the pandemic hit and that sort of stuff. We're just like, hey, Bond, so you doing anything, buddy? And he ended up joining. And it literally was just like, for me, just a dream come true, because Bond has been there throughout the entire thing. And to have him finally be able to join the group and have everything come full circle, that really meant a lot to me. So let's see who else. Darren, I met at a Times of Grace show in 2013.
Oh, sick.
Right. And for people who don't know, Times of Grace is kind of like Jesse and Adam D from Killswitch Engage, kind of like their side project.
Mhm.
So they played this hole in the wall called The Note in Westchester, which is a suburb of Philly. And Darren and I met. We ended up chatting, you know, shooting the shit. Didn't see each other ever again until a couple of years later when his band Divisions played with Palaceburn.
Oh, snap.
And then I was like, hold on, I know you from somewhere, sir. Wait, this face, it's familiar. And then again, we had one of our guitarists leave the band, and Darren stepped up to the plate. Mike and Bond have known each other for a very long time. And then Jay, again, another lineup change. Jay joined in 2016, I want to say. Yeah, because that was the same year that my grandfather passed away. So it was 2016. And his first show, one of his first shows with us was opening for Seven Dust. So, you know, no big
pressure.
Deal. No pressure at all. You're fine, right? It's okay. So yeah. So those are my boys.
Aw. Wait, so tell me about this show. So I think I've actually seen like a clip of one of the shows that you did with, at least I know you've talked about like being on stage with LaJohn and that being like a super impactful experience to you. Like, tell me about that show when it was his first like time with Palaceburn.
Oh my gosh, that was insane. So we played this show at this venue called Reverb in Reading, Pennsylvania. It's about an hour outside. And we were so it's split up into two stages the way that they had it. They had like 8 or 9, they made this show into a whole festival, okay? Whoa. When it was only supposed to be like Seven Dust, Trivium, and Like a Storm. But the venue was just like, we're gonna have like 12 different local bands. Why not? You know? So this has been going on since like 1 p.m. and Seven Dust doesn't go on until like 8 o'clock at night. You know, no big deal, right? And so we were the last band on the local stage.
Okay.
And so yeah, so we were the last band. So, you know, local bands playing, blah, 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 nothing really happened. And then the next thing you know, like, of course, right before our set is when people are starting to show up, because this is when, you know, doors open for the main show and that sort of stuff. By the time we got on stage, the local part of the venue was packed, like wall to wall, shoulder to shoulder. It was just like insanity. And what was horrible too is that it was raining, and so like it was outside, right? And so they had like this thing up top. I don't even tarp? Like tarp. Yes, it was like a tarp, and like poor Jonah in the back. He was like, it wasn't like put up the best way, and so it was starting to like drip. So funny, hilarious, but we killed it. We tore the house down. That was honestly one of my favorite sets that we've ever played. We had such great support. We actually rented a coach bus to drive people from Philly to Reading. So we had a lot of people that we knew that were there. Some people who became new fans who had never heard of us. We completely sold out our merch that night. It was insane. It was such a like, mwah, chef's kiss. Such a great show for sure. And then Seven Dust. All right, so see what had happened was, right? So like this is when I was drinking. I am flirting with sobriety now. Let's just put it that way. But getting to the point where I'm going to be 100% sober. Right. So this is during my drinking days. And so, right. So our bassist at the time, you know, we had played the set, had a great show, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, let's take some shots. And I'm just like, yeah, sure. You know, we're just celebrating, of course, as we should, right?
As you should, yeah.
Next thing you know, Seven Dust comes on before their like first song, and I am just two sheets to the wind at this point, right? And so I wasn't aware, like I was kind of aware that LJ was aware of me, but I didn't really know that he knew that I could sing, right? So I'm just minding my business on the side of the stage near the front row. I remember specifically my friend Susan saw me. She was already up front. She's like, Meredith, come on the stairs, come on. So I'm front row, off to the side though, like not like center, just like off to the side where the speakers are.
Right.
So during Shine, LJ walks over. He's, you know, singing to the crowd, hyping them up, and then he sees me and he's just like, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? Oh, like, but you're not gonna say no to LJ. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just one of those things where it's like you have to do it. You have to do it.
Absolutely.
It wasn't that it was that bad. It just wasn't my best performance. You know what I'm saying? Like I personally, you know, as an artist, like I'd never drink on stage. Like that's just like a big rule. But you know, it wasn't my show. So you know what I'm saying? So it, you know, I did what I could do. Mm-hmm. And you know, I told LJ afterwards, I was just like, bro, I'm so sorry. He's like, it's fine. We all thought it was hilarious. Hi, buddy.
Now, what you gotta say?
See?
That good.
I love it. He's so cute. But yeah, so I mean, I've sung with LJ, I've sung with Seven Dust, you know, many times over. So, you know, it's not a huge deal. They are so great, such nice guys, incredibly supportive, never have any bad things to say about Seven Dust. They're wonderful.
Yeah. So what are your influences, I guess? I'm thinking about like movies, books, artists. Mm-hmm. I can hear a little bit of Evanescence in some.
Yeah, I get that a lot. Hi, I love you too. I'm live on TikTok as well.
Hello, TikTok.
Hello. I get the Amy Lee thing a lot. And rightfully so. I'm a big Howard Jones girl. Absolutely adore Howard and everything that he's ever done. Let me see who else. As far as like movies and books and that sort of thing, like I'm a big Tim Burton person. I know that he's problematic. I get it. I understand.
He's problematic? What he do?
It's hard to explain. I know that like some people online are just like, oh, well, he's like racist and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, girl, that's fine. Me personally, I'm like, I'm just gonna, you know, like
pride, like
I don't know, it is what it is. But yeah, so Tim, who else do I like? Tarantino, big Tarantino person, especially Pulp Fiction, especially Kill Bill, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, Marvel. I'm definitely a Marvel girl for sure. My boyfriend and I, he's back there. Yes. This is Bud. Anton. Say hi. That's my fine ass man back there. But we like, you know, Marvel, and like he's starting to get me very much into anime and that sort of thing. So we're currently watching My Hero Academia. So like, yeah. So stuff like that.
Now I have to ask you, since you mentioned Tarantino, how do you feel about Kill Bill 3?
Is Vivica's daughter gonna come back and wreck the shit out of Kiddo? Because that's all I care about. I just want to see that little girl whoop some ass and like avenge the death of her mother. That's what I'm here for.
Honestly, yeah, I'd love to see like the two kids like fight for their moms. Like
that would be so sick.
That would be amazing. Because that girl, she saw, like, she went through a lot. She saw her mother just
literally get mangled. So listen, if that little girl is not in the remake, I don't want it.
I'm gonna be irritated.
Want it at all.
No, absolutely. I love
Mhm.
it. Okay, so this might be a hard question, and folks really don't like when I ask it.
Okay.
But tell me your top 5 favorite, either punk, metal, rock, you name it, bands of all time. Top 5.
Mm.
Only 5. Only 5.
Well, at least you're giving me 5. Some people will only be like 3.
That's just disrespectful. I don't even
Isn't it?
understand.
I
How would
thought
you
so
even get
too.
3? Yeah, no.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Mm, it's hard to be a number one though. Like that's my only thing. Like as far as like making someone number one, that's difficult for me. So
I
just
will,
like
I
I don't
will
know if
say you
hmm.
don't have to put them in an order. It
Okay,
can
good.
just be like top,
Okay.
because I don't believe in the hierarchy of the top 5.
Right. That's my part. I was just like, I don't know if I can do all of that. I don't really have a number one. I do have favorites. I'm not sure if I have a number one specifically, but
Right.
I will say Seven Dust obviously is going to be on that list without a shadow of a doubt.
Mhm.
Living Color, for sure. Lamb of God.
Yes, hold up. Can you even see? Yeah.
Yay! My boy Randy. That's he and I are like super close. I love him.
For real? Really? That's cool.
He's a great guy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for
He
sure.
literally just got me comp tickets for the show out here at BB&T in Camden when they came with Megadeth. What was that? Last week or the week before? Babe, when I went to see Megadeth, I think it was like a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, it was Megadeth, Trivium, Lamb of God, and Hatebreed. Sick show.
I
So,
hate you. I'm jealous.
oh God, it was so good. Oh my God,
Oh.
it was amazing. But yeah, so who did I say? Lamb of God, Seven Dust, Living Color, Hatebreed is on that list, I will say. And Killswitch Engage.
Perfect. I love this list.
Howard era Killswitch. Not that I hate Jesse. I have a lot of love for Jesse. Don't get me wrong. It's just that is my preference.
Yeah, everyone, you're allowed to your preferences. Totally. Totally.
Exactly.
Now, I'll have to write down, sorry, I'm going to write down Living Color because I don't know them, but you're putting me on. I don't know them. I know.
You don't.
I listen to the same 6 bands. Okay.
Child, we need to have, okay, well then we need to up it to 7.
Okay.
Because they are literally one of the pioneers of Black rock and punk.
They black too.
Wow, they're an all Black rock band. Like they were really big in the 80s and 90s, and like, yeah, they're like that's an influential band. As someone who is like a POC Black rock fan, you need to know Living Color for sure.
I definitely need to like brush up on my history of metal.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as a Black woman, like I've always felt like that, I don't know, like elitism where like you have to know everything, like all the bands from the past, all the bands that inspired your favorite bands.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Well, it's hard. Well, it's hard, especially as a Black woman in this particular scene, because there are those elitists that are out there that will question you a lot.
Yeah.
And be like, oh yeah, you like Slayer, and name their top 5 albums or whatever, some stupid bullshit like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So sometimes we do feel that pressure to be highly educated and to have more knowledge and intelligence when it comes to the scene, because we do feel that pressure to prove ourselves, which is insane, and we shouldn't feel that way. I should just have a Trivium album because I like Trivium. It shouldn't be that serious. But I know that I have definitely felt that pressure for sure. So even as a fan, not even just as a musician, but as a fan,
Yeah. No, I've literally been like wearing a Slipknot shirt and people been like, so you actually listen to them? Like, what do you... I'm
like, is that your boyfriend's shirt?
I literally lived in Iowa for 10 years. Yes, I know my Slipknot. Don't even start with me.
Right.
Okay? But yeah, it's definitely hard, that pressure. So I'm curious, you mentioned like we're talking kind of now about, okay, hold on one second. Kirby, I
Oh,
need you to stop. I need you to stop. Please go over there. Okay. Um, as a Black woman in the rock genre,
mm,
uh, what is it like? I feel like you probably get this question a lot, but I'm thinking about and you wonder why they kneel and
mm,
the impact of that, the super direct message like we will not give up, we will, you know, police brutality is wrong. um and I look at your band and I see like one Black face and predominantly like white members. What is that like in terms of like the writing process, the recording process? um are your bandmates super supportive? Like I would assume they are. But tell me about like what that has been like. I imagine it's kind of strange. I'm not sure.
it's, you know what it is? It's having that open line of communication with them.
Mm,
Um, because obviously they hold a certain amount of privilege that I do not.
right.
You know what I mean? And they always will.
Yeah.
And I think that the biggest thing has been to recognize that privilege and to use it for the greater good, to see exactly, you know, to kind of build that message and to be able to get it out there to the people who need to listen to. You go home for a bit? All right, cool. Just text me when you're out. All right. But to use that privilege and to, you know, really give it breath and give it, you know, the things that it needs to be giving what it needs to give. Do you know what I mean?
Right. What it's supposed to be. Right.
You know, exactly, because um I don't, you know, and it's sad to say, but I don't feel that like if I were in a band with like all Black women, if like it would, you know, translate as
Mm,
well. Because it's, you know, my voice is already oppressed to begin with. Do you know what I mean? And I
yeah.
try to not use that as a crutch, but rather a tool to motivate myself to continue forward, because it's hard. It is very difficult. You know, there have been sort of times where I've experienced racism in the same. There have been times where I've been questioned. There have been times where people have said things about me that are not true, which even to this day, if you know, do a deep dive search on Meredith Bell, you're going to find some things that are not very, you know, becoming of me and my character. Um, and a lot of that is because they know that I'm Black and that I'm a woman and they can get away with it. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot, you know. But my bandmates know that, and they've always been very supportive of me, and we all have the same beliefs
Mhm.
and ideology when it comes to human rights and civil rights and that sort of thing, and equality and that sort of stuff. And so they want to help. They want
Yeah.
to help as much as they can. They're never going to be able to understand what it's like in my shoes, but they want to do what they can to support me and to really push that same message. I mean, the biggest thing is that we're just all on the same page, and whether they can relate or not, they want to make sure that I have the creative power and the freedom
Mhm.
to say what I want to say when it comes to Palaceburn.
Yeah. That's amazing. I feel like, you know, a lot of bands I listen to, like they there's so much inner like conflict between members because they have such different stances on, I mean, my favorite band, Slipknot, they have such
Mhm.
different stances on human rights.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that that relationship that y'all have will really like solidify y'all for a long time and allow you to continue to create in such an authentic way that you have. um, so you wonder why they kneel definitely has like a super direct message. um, listening to it, it made me think about like what inspired the writing behind Curses, The Awakening. I feel like 2013, 2015 was a completely different time.
Yes,
Like,
very
I
much
don't
so.
even remember what it was like to live in 2013. What
Me neither.
inspired some of those songs? Like, I'm thinking about Trouble, I'm thinking about So Gone. Like, what inspired some of the writing
Oh
behind
God, I don't even want to think that far back.
it?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so gone, and like all the songs on The Awakening are very like poppy and very much within that same realm of what was going on at the time. Like again, I had a lot of influence when it came to Evanescence, when it came to gosh, even like I don't know, like Avril Lavigne, or like some people
Ooh.
along those lines, like Fifi Dobson was really big,
Ooh.
that sort of thing. So I think a lot of it was more so I was trying to emulate what I saw and what I heard, which is why I don't really like playing a lot of songs off of The Awakening now, because I feel like I'm in such a different place
Yeah.
than where I was at 2013. When you think about Curses and kind of moving forward from there, I mean, thinking about that point in time is when I gotten out of a really bad breakup. I was, more along the lines of becoming a proper Philadelphian, and what that meant to me, and being in this new space and being away from people that I loved and that sort of thing, and dealing with the trauma of a breakup, and then also the trauma of that's when myself and Jason, my producer, um, we split ways. You know what I mean? The Beast Inside is talking a lot about that. It was not an amicable breakup. We really just like butted heads and that sort of thing towards the end. So a lot of it is talking about that sort of situation as well. So I'm noticing now that it's a lot of like my kind of coming of age story, and especially now when we think about the songs that are coming, or the songs that like we've done. So we've done Stars Align, we've done Neil, we're about to release The Empress. So it's a lot of like growth and change. When you think about where I was in 2011 to 2021, I was in my early 30s, and I was in my early 20s. I'm 34 now. So it's like
So
I'm
different.
not going to be, a lot of things that I was talking about, in that time don't relate to me now.
Yeah.
There is a lot of growth and there is a lot of change, and a lot of that you're going to see reflected in that music. So I think as a older woman now, and I've gone through a lot of shit, especially with relationships and death and grief, and that sort of thing. And having people coming to the realization that not everybody is my friend, and that not everybody that is put into my life is put there to stay.
Right. They're not meant to be there.
Yeah. That's a lot of that is gonna hey best friend, hi. A lot of that's gonna be like really, it's just gonna be like full circle, like having that reflected in my music. And I'm just glad that I'm able to have the outlet to do that.
Yeah. So in I think the Consequence of Sound article,
Yes.
you talked a little bit about 40 Acres, and
Mm,
you mentioned that that's like the heaviest song you ever wrote.
yeah. Yeah.
Is that experience that you're talking about, that like coming to age, is that why you feel like it's heavier? And
Mm.
can we expect that in the new album?
Oh my gosh, yeah. The new
Yeah.
album's the new
Okay.
album's gonna be
Freak it out.
so heavy. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, I'm
So
so ready.
so 40 Acres is like, and you wonder why they kneel on steroids.
It sounds
Okay.
like it with that title.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And that's what I was going for. It's
Okay.
very much like if like Neil, and then like whatever like music from Fever 333 if they like had a freaking baby. Like it's
Yes.
just I feel very much like, you know, the female what's the guy's name? Oh my god, Jason Alon. I talk to him all the time. What am I talking about? It's very much giving Fever. It's very much giving Hyro.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yes, period. So like I'm really excited about it. Like I said, these past 2 years have not been great. And not necessarily just for me, but for, you know, my people as a whole when it comes to, you know, police brutality and like the whole Trump era and, you know, right. And you know, and I won't get into that, but yeah, but like
I know exactly what name you were about to say, child. Him too. Yeah.
Him too. He ain't much better. But anyway, but like just really having that affect me and really, you know, not to say that I never recognized my blackness because I've never shied away from that, but really leaning into it and being like, these are things that are important to me. These are issues that are important to my culture, and I want to speak about them, you know? And I don't think that I've ever done that. I think that it's always been like, when this guy broke up with me, you know, I'm going to write about it in my like Lisa Frank notebook. You know, like it's that I've never been that serious. I mean, I have, but then I haven't. But now it's like with that sort of like being sort of, you know, in very active within like the Black Lives Matter, you know, campaign and that sort of thing, plus also to stuff that went on in my personal life. You know, my grandparents passed away. I came out of an abusive marriage. There's just like a lot of stuff that's like, all right, bro, nah, we gotta get serious now. Like this is no, somebody said, not the Lisa Frank. Y'all know y'all be loving your Lisa Frank. Child, I had all the notebooks. Come on now. Come on. But like really just leaning into issues that are very, very important to me. And I feel like they really need to be heard. And I'm really hoping that like somebody somewhere gets something out of, you know, what they're gonna hear from this new record.
Yeah. That's gonna be me.
Oh, yay.
Yes.
As long as it's one person, I don't care.
Just me.
Just you.
HP.
That's cool. I'm writing it specifically for you. That's fine.
I feel special.
Yes.
So when can we potentially expect this new album?
Ooh,
Era of Palaceburn?
good.
If you're ready to give a date.
Not really. So
okay.
So we literally yesterday finished my vocal tracking for the Empress. Okay. So that is done. So Bond just has to clean up a couple of things with drums, and then it needs to be mixed and mastered, and then we're ready to release. I know that I'm shopping around for some videographers in this area. I know that we want to shoot a music video for the Empress as well. We have some really like cool kind of spooky ideas for that video, which I'm really, really excited about. So I would anticipate by the end of the year, we have a new single that's released. I would really like to not wait any longer than what we need to. So I don't want to give it an actual date, but I would say before the end of the year, absolutely new Palaceburn single for sure. In regards to the record, if we really, you know, quit fucking around and you know, really buckle down and get shit done, I would potentially say spring.
Okay.
So yeah.
Y'all, that's gonna be a good spring. You better be ready.
Period, poo.
Your seatbelt.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. You already know. So yeah, we're all very, very excited. I think that, you know, the pandemic really just kind of forced us to get our ass in gear because it's like, you know, well, we got all this time now. We might as well, you know what I'm saying? And plus we want to like to play shows again and that sort of thing. I know we were going to play these couple of shows in October, but with the Delta variant and stuff like that, we just kind of decided not to against it. Our bassist Mike just had a baby. So I know. Yay! Had a baby boy. His name is Nathan. He's so adorable. He's such a good kid. He literally just sits there. He's just like, what's up? He doesn't cry. He chills. He's just like, all right, cool. What up? Yeah. He's so well behaved. It's wonderful. But anyway,
can I trade that baby with my cat? Can I trade
apparently
because my cat.
Right. Exactly. You're fine. It's all good. Someone was like, oh, you're in an interview. My bad. I'm like, that's why I went live. It's fine. But yeah, so we just wanted to take extra precautions with that. Because we don't want to get the baby sick and that sort of thing. So, but yeah, we definitely want to get back to being on stage and that sort of thing too. So hopefully we'll have an album to actually promote as we're booking shows. So knock on wood, hopefully Miss Rona can stop tripping and doing all that. Do you mind giving me 1 second?
Absolutely. Go for it. Right back. Hey, how are you? Oh, you're gonna be quiet now.
Hello, I am back.
Welcome back.
Hello, thank you.
So yeah, you were mentioning COVID. That kind of leads me to my next question. Mm-hmm. Live shows, they kind of feel like they're coming back, in the US. And I feel like some people are just like, no, cancel all shows. Like I think 9 Inch Nails in Chicago, they like canceled Riot Fest. They decided not to come because of COVID.
Yep.
The Delta variant. Other bands are like, let's go. We gotta feed our fans. Like, let's get it. As an artist, like, how do you see the future of live music? With all, like, I feel like we've been in COVID. Well, we have been in COVID since 2019. Like, can you even predict anything for the future?
That's a hard question, right? Because we have seen some successes when it comes to touring, when it comes to, following COVID protocol, members and band members and crew getting tested every single day. It's just like, I mean, Megadeth and Lamb of God were able to do an entire tour. They just wrapped without anyone catching COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like they were able to really like be good with that. And then you have other bands who have had to cancel shows, who've had to postpone shows because somebody got caught up. So it's just, it's hard to say. It's very hard to say. I don't think that I don't think that the business as a whole is ever going to be the same. I think that it's just a matter of working around it because that's all you can do. You know what I mean? Do I feel like we're going to go on a full shutdown? Absolutely not, because it's the US. Do I feel like we should? Probably. But at this point, I just don't know if there's going to be, a viable way of maintaining everything. So it's a matter of more so maintenance than anything else, because it's not going away. Like the COVID is just always going to be a thing, just like the flu has been a thing since 1919. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just, and people still get flu vaccines to this day, so it's just a matter of like, all right, well, we got to live with it now. So how can we do that safely? Yeah. So as long as people just continue to wear their mask and get vaccinated if they want to get vaccinated and do what they need to do, then it is what it is. That's it, really.
Well, until then, I hope that you continue going live on Instagram. I saw you posted on your story and you were asking the fans, like, do y'all care about Instagram? do y'all mess with this? Y'all fuck with this or what?
Dude, social media is so wild, dude. It is. And it just sucks because like again, like I said, there are people out there that do not like me, that have made up stories about me. So I got shadow banned really badly. I got mass reported really
Really?
badly. Yeah. So it's just like, for me, I'm just having a really hard time with like views and, creating content and not having engagement and that sort of thing. So, but I feel like that's just social media as a whole, especially TikTok. Like we all just have like those times where it's like,
Yeah.
shit ain't popping for me right now, So
Yeah. Well, I just want to say to you as a fan, like I really enjoy your live videos, especially when you're
thank you.
um like practicing and we can see like you do those vocal runs and we can see you like be like, oh, I don't like that. Let's do that again.
Oh,
And
that was fun. Yeah, when we were recording. Yeah,
yeah, I think that's really entertaining and fans really appreciate that intimate like connection.
for
Like a
sure.
lot of bands don't provide that. And so I just want to encourage you to like even though it's not popping right now, the engagement isn't in right now, like follow your heart and also like tap into that like super special thing which is you and the
Thank
band
you.
and the connection that you can have with your fans. Like that's what you should link on to. Um, but yeah, I love seeing y'all. I love whenever any band goes live, I'm like, let me, what are you
Right.
doing? What are you doing? Like I'm super
I'm the
obsessed,
exact same. I do the same thing with bands that I love. Don't even get wrong.
right?
Don't get me wrong. Oh my gosh, who went live the other day? Gosh, and even like simple people that I follow, like I follow this guy. His name is called David Benitez, and he runs this company called Extreme Vocal Institute. So I watch a lot of his videos for training and tips on screaming. And
Right.
like I remember one time he went live on Insta, and I was like, oh, David's live, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
just, you
Yeah.
know, but yeah.
There are plenty of people out there that are doing the same thing for Palaceburn, and whenever Meredith goes live, they're like,
Oh my God, stop.
I gotta
Stop
watch. That is
it.
me,
We
okay?
did, the live was kind of popping yesterday. I'm not gonna lie. When we
I
were
missed the one
recording Empress,
yesterday.
it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Well, something like I go between TikTok and Insta just
Yeah,
because like I just kind of want to like keep things fresh or whatever. So I was on
yeah,
TikTok yesterday,
okay.
and yeah, it was people were enjoying it. So yeah. But like I say, we've got some stuff coming up around the corner. Bond still has his drums that he needs to do. We're going to be starting to work on another song called Better Days.
Okay.
That one's gonna be cool. I'm excited for that one. So yeah, I'll just keep posting. Whoever loves it, loves it. Whoever doesn't, oh well, it's fine.
Yeah, period. Period, poo.
Period, poo. Yes. Real hot girl shit.
Real hot girl shit. Period. I love it. Oh, thank you so much for your time, Meredith. This was so fun.
Yes. Thank you. You were
Yeah.
absolutely adorable. Thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate any and all support that I can get, that the band can get.
Absolutely.
So on behalf of the band, I know that they're not here, but on behalf of the band, thank you so much for this. We really appreciate it for sure.